Hello all, my name is Prabhakar. I'm making a series of videos available to you to learn Amazon Web Services. And in this session, we are going to talk about Amazon RDS. And here is the content for today's session. We will check what is AWS RDS, and inside a lab, I'm going to create a MySQL database, and I will perform some SQL operations on that. First of all, let's check that, okay, what is the brief about RDS? RDS stands for Amazon Relational Database Service, and it makes it easy to set up and operate and scale a relational database in the cloud. It provides a cost-effective and reusable capacity while automating the time-consuming administration tasks such as hardware provisioning, database setup, and patching and taking the backups. And this RDS, which available in 6 different types. So, okay, so we can create 6 different types of databases in Amazon RDS. So one is Amazon Aurora and PostgreSQL, MySQL, Oracle, MariaDB, and Microsoft SQL Server. Let's check on the lab how to create a MySQL database and perform some SQL operations on that. Here is a AWS Management Console. You can go to Services and you can search RDS, Relational Database Service, and click on that RDS. It is very important service, and it is one of the core service in AWS. So it is very useful. We don't require to buy any additional CPU and memory storage and infra in order to run the databases here and for taking the backups and all. So we can perform the lot many operations in AWS RDS. So with the help of automatic backup and then auto scaling, and there is additional different zone of availabilities. So here, so on the dashboard, okay, you can click on create database, and so it will prompt you to select the type of the database. As of now, as I said in my previous slide, we can select any one of the database, available 6 databases. Okay, I'm selecting the MySQL here. And coming to the MySQL part, okay, so it will allow you to select the type of the template, whether you want to go ahead with free tier, or you want to use the database for day one testing, or you want to use it for the production. So here for this demo purpose, I'm selecting free tier here. And the databases, MySQL databases available versions, these are the set of available versions are available. And I'm selecting the latest version here, okay, 8.0.19. So, and after choosing that, okay, so it will prompt you to fill some of the configuration on the settings window. So here I'm giving the database instance identifier as I'm giving it as a Prabhakar database instance. Okay, this is the name which I have given as a database instance identifier. And coming to the credential part, okay, by default username is admin. You can select auto generated password, or you can also give the password here. Okay, you can specify that. And so here I'm using generate password is a website where I can dynamically randomly generate the password here. So just go to that and you can select set of additional parameters. Okay, so and what is the length of the password, what are the parameters you want to consider. Okay, I don't want to include any symbols here on my password, and I want to generate a 16 characters length of the password. If I click on the generate password, so here the password is generated. I'm copying this password, and the same password I'm using it here. And if you want to specify your own custom password, you can also directly type and then use that password. And next, going back to the database instance size, okay, by default, so I'm selecting it as a free tier. So that's why, so by default it's selected at T2 micro. And so if you go for the any production instance or any dev or testing instance, if I go to the production instance, so instance is automatically changed to M5 large, and which comes with 4 CPUs and 16 GB RAM on that. So, and for this demo, so free tier is sufficient for me. So I'm selecting the free tier here. And after that, next part is the storage. So inside the storage, so I'm not doing any changes on this. So by default, I'm keeping it as a 20 GB. It will support minimum 20 GB and maximum 16,340 for 384 GB of memory RAM memories of supported. So, and enable storage auto scaling, I'm disabling this. So if I enable that, so it will put some additional charge based on the available threshold. For this demo, this is not required for me. And and coming to the connectivity part, okay, so I want to run this my database into selected VPC virtual private network. If I want to create a new network, so I can also specify that, but I'm running it on the default available VPC network. And so here one of the additional connectivity configuration, which is in a collapsed mode, you can enable that. This is also a very important one here. And so because so I'm accessing I'm going to access my RDS in my local machine. So for that, I have to enable this option, publicly accessible my RDS instance. So if I enable a no, only my EC2 instance can access my RDS machine, and it will not be accessible outside of Amazon Amazon service, Amazon Web Services. So that's why I'm selecting it as yes. And coming to another option is that the VPC security group. Okay, so I can select the new group, or if I required, if I go here and then I can create a new group here. So I'm using it as a sample my SQL security group SG. And availability zone, so I can select any of the zone available zone. I'm choosing it as US East 1A. And coming to the database authentication, so in which fashion you would like to access your database instance, by using a password authentication or by using a IMI or database authentication. I'm selecting it as a password authentication, so because I already generated a password here. And coming to the additional configuration here, so inside this additional configuration, I can also create initial database here. So if I specify it as a Prabhakar underscore and initial underscore DB, and DB version and the option group. So all these are by default is selected. And coming to the backup part, this is enable automatic backups for every 7 days, and you can select the threshold. Okay, based on the threshold, it will automatically take the backup, one snapshot of your instance. So if you want, you can go here and then select the window at what time you want to take the backup. So that is up to the user preferences. So backup is, I'm disabling that because I don't want that. And I'm not going to look at the monitoring log and then the log exports in terms of errors and then debug and info. And after that, the final one is that, okay, so if any minor version is available, suppose if I'm running my MySQL database instance version is, if you see that here is, if I go here, 8.0.19. So tomorrow 8.0.20, the new version, minor version is available, then AWS will automatically take care and it will automatically upgrade it. So that kind of upgradation also we can enable it, so that we don't worry about upgrading and patching and putting some security patches, all the stuff. So this upgradation we can automatically enable that based on our requirement. If you are working on any dev instance or any demo instance, so this option is not required. And deletion protection, so accidentally, so if someone trying to delete instance, so you can put the deletion protection so that it will not allow users to delete the instance, so unless you disable this option. So these are the settings we have to select. So in order to create a RDS instance and MySQL database under that, so click on create database. Okay, so here is it is saying that, okay, underscore is not allowed. Okay, I'm using it as a hyphen instead of using underscore. And go here at the bottom and then click on create database. It will take a couple of minutes to up and running my database. So if you see the status here, now the status of my DB instance is creating state. So it will take a couple of minutes. So you can find the message also. So your database might take a few minutes to launch. Okay. So by that time I will keep the recording in pause mode. Now my instance status is available. And so if I go to inside instance, So you can find the various options, and the connectivity and security options are, okay, here is my endpoint. So with the help of this endpoint, I can take a connection of this DB, and then I can perform the operations on this. And coming to the network point of view, okay, so I have enabled the network, and then I have put my database instance, which is available in the following subnets. And the security group point of view, okay, so here is a security group which I'm using it for enabling the security point. And at the same time, okay, so if you go to the monitoring, okay, here you can see that, okay, there are around 11 different types of gadgets are available to check the CPU utilization and the DB connection and the memory utilization, and read and write operations, input and output operations. And here are my log and events. And coming to the configuration point, okay, so here are the set of configurations which I have used in order to configure this instance. Okay, here is my MySQL engine version which I'm using it, and one CPU I'm using, and 1 GB, and username I'm using it as admin, and the password will not be visible here. And at the same time, under maintenance and the backups, okay, so you can go here, and then as of now I haven't enabled any um, upgradation and taking the auto backup and auto scaling on that. Okay, and this is how we can find all the details. Okay, let's go ahead and then connect my database instance. Okay, so you can copy this instance endpoint. Okay, so there are multiple ways to connect it to MySQL database. Through program you can connect that, and through command line you can connect that. So here I'm using a MySQL workbench. So okay, so it will provide a good graphical user interface where I can directly specify the configuration and directly right click and write a query on that. So you can click on add a new connection. Okay, so here I'm putting it as AWS RDS, and host name. So this host name I'm using the host name which AWS RDS instance, and the port is the default port 3306. And if you want, you can go ahead and then change the port inside your AWS RDS. And username, by default username is admin. Okay, so, and before directly click on OK, okay, so it is recommended to check the test connection. You can click on test connection. It will prompt you to enter the password here. So for that, you can go ahead, and here is the password which I have used for while set up the instance. Okay, so you can go ahead and specify the password here. Click OK. Okay, my connection is succeed. Okay, so now what I can do, I can store my password inside my MySQL workbench itself. Okay, and it is not recommended to store your password inside of any of the tools. And but for the demo purpose, I'm storing this password, and here I'm using my mission. It is my personal laptop, so that's why I'm storing the password here. So, and save the changes. Okay, after doing that, save it. So here I have enabled one more connection. You can double click on this connection, and it will open a SQL editor for performing the SQL operations here. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. So here is the DB, and Prabhakar initial DB is the DB name. And if I expand that, I can see the set of different schemas on that. So if I want to perform some operations on this, let's take an example. Okay, I want to use the database name is the Prabhakar underscore initial underscore DB. Okay, and here I'm creating the table. Okay, the table, and table name I'm putting it as employee. Okay, and name and varchar. Okay, so, and if I run this entire strings, okay, put that, run this. Okay, so here I'm using the database name, and I'm creating the table is successfully created. And now I'm commenting this creation of query. So if I insert any data inside that, insert into employee, and the name and values, and here I'm putting the value is Prabhakar, and another value I'm putting it as 3 values. Okay, Praveen. Okay, and Rajesh, and put another entry is Harsha. Okay, I'm inserting a four new rows on that. So if I run that, okay, you can see that, okay, four elements got affected, and then four entries are inserted on that. Okay, so you can copy all the things. Okay, so and now if I write a query for fetching the details from employee. Okay, so and run the query here. Here if you see that, okay, here are the entries which are there in database. So this is how I can perform the operations on RDS. Okay, so it is very simple to create instance and work on the instance, and also we can add some advanced configuration in terms of taking backup automatically, and at the same time doing the auto scaling if the performance is very peak. Let's take an example. So if I go to my RDS instance and if I check on monitoring, if my CPU utilization is very peak level, and I can go ahead and then add additional instance as a part of auto scaling. So we come to end of the session, and hopefully you enjoy the video. And in this session, so you get to know that, okay, how to create RDS MySQL instance, and how can you perform SQL operations on this. And thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next lab.